this initial introduction. So the first Mahavakya that we're presenting here is Prajnanam Brahma. So let's say it. Prajnanam Brahman. Prajnaman Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Yes. Consciousness is Brahma. Simple. This Mahavakya is considered the declaration of truth, the declaration of absolute truth. It comes from the Aitareya Upanishad of the Rig Veda. Prajnanam Brahman. Consciousness is Brahman. So the absolute is consciousness. It is awareness. Second one, I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. And this one means this self, the individual Atma, the Jiva. The individual Atma means the soul, the livingness within us. But Atma can be capitalized as well, and it can represent Brahman. So it gets a little confusing there. My Atma is this, the soul is the Brahman within me, but the Atma, the great Atma, is what sometimes is referred to as the self, capital S, self. And then it can be the Paramatma, which is the everything. It's a little confusing, but you begin to work with it, because ultimately it's like there's these three levels of the self that we talk about in the book: the individual self, the soul self, and the great self. And the soul is like the cause of the individual self. And so just begin to work with it and understand that the three are interchangeable. But that's the whole work that we're doing today, is to really get this. Okay. So I am Atma Brahma. The self is Brahma. This self is Brahma.
It's a small self, right?
Actually, it should be that should be capitalized. It's the S should be capitalized. So here we're talking about. Okay, this is where I get a little confused myself. We're going to be talking about both. Okay, we're talking about the individual Atma as being the small s being the capital S. They're being one and the same. That's really where we're going. And those are Brahma. And then the third one, Tatwamasi. 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 Tat, that's that. Twam is you, and Asi is art, you are. That thou art. Tatwamasi. You are that. That thou art. You are the Brahman. And then Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. I am absolute awareness. So those are the four major ones. Now go to look at the more Mahavakyas, because I want to talk about these a little bit. So number 5, Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman is real, the world is unreal. Now hearken back to the Om Asatoma. Lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from illusion to truth. The Bhagavad Gita says, truth always exists. And you see in the Sanskrit, sad, can be interpreted as truth, or it can be interpreted as real, the reality. So truth always exists, untruth never exists. Huh. Now you listen to that and you think about it from a worldly plane. Wait a minute, there are lots of lies. But that's not what it's referring to. It's saying that there is only one reality. And this reality of changing form is actually unreal, at least in terms of us perceiving it the way we do, the way that we take this as gospel for what is. It's the opposite. What is the Brahman. So truth always exists, untruth never exists. And again, like in a dream, right? What we feel to be real, we wake up and we discover that it is illusion, or that it is all happening in the mind. And so kind of the one of the proofs that is used is to just understand that anything that we perceive that is mortal, that changes, that has form, is not real at the deepest level. This doesn't mean we don't still act in the world and etc. But it's trying to really help us switch our perspective to coming from one from this sense of totality. Okay. Number 6, ekam evadvityam brahm. Ekam evadvityam brahm. Ekam evadvityam brahm. Great. Okay. Ekam means one. Evad, now, the evadvityam. See in there the word adviti, advitya. That's the same thing as the not two. So ekam, Brahman is one, not two. Brahman is one without a second. And this refers to the complete, unitive, non-differentiated awareness. The other is an appearance in the great consciousness. We are all an appearance. And again, like in a dream, all that seems to be really happening, upon waking up, we realize it happened only in the mind, like a mirage that feels real. Or like that image in the mirror that we say that's me. And the truth is, we can see ourselves in a mirror in this image that's not real. But we don't see ourselves ever in a certain way. Right? 7. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. This is actually one of my favorites. Actually, like, it's just, I just like the way it feels on the tongue. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. All indeed is Brahman. So sarvam means all. Kalvidam just means verily, or indeed, or truthfully. In truth, all is Brahma. So very, very simple, right? However, to look at this a little more closely, if there is only one without a second, right? That's what we were just looking at, which is kind of hard to wrap the head around when we're seeing all these seconds around here. But if we can come to that, then indeed, all is Brahman. All is one. All of this is that. Hamsa. So this means that there's nothing, not even Maya, not even the illusion, that is not Brahman. There is nothing that is separate from Brahman. So the illusion is that we think of it as real. Doesn't mean that all this isn't happening within the consciousness. The illusion when we're dreaming is to think that that's real. But it's still happening. It's still appearing in the mind. And finally, Satyam Jnanam Avanta Brahm. Satyam Jnanam Avanta Brahm. Satyam Jnanam Avanta Brahm. Satyam Jnanam Avanta Brahm. So the second word, Jnanam, Jnana means knowledge. And sometimes in Sanskrit, when there's an N on the end of the word, it still ends up being pronounced like an M. So you'll hear me saying Satyam Jnanam Avanta Brahm. It's just a pronunciation thing. I'm not even asking that we memorize these. I'm just kind of presenting them so that you have a sense of them. And like Frank brought up another one that he knows, and there are 108 probably plus of these. But this one means Brahman is limitless existence and limitless knowledge. So Brahman has no beginning and no end. Avanta means end. No, Vanta means end. So Avanta means no end or limitlessness. So this is our limitless love. Anything that has a beginning and an end, like these bodies, is unreal. But we, as the Atma that is Brahma, as the self that is limitless, we do not have an end. This little identity, Rajashree or Samantha or Linda, has an end. But that which enlivens, supports, is causal of Linda, of Samantha, is endless. And that is how there is no death. Lead me from death to deathlessness.